there's more money in the game now for a young nigga like that.
Cause this music, business, other streets, ain't nothing going on without me.
All right, here we go. We got OG3, the founder of NBA, aka Never Broke Again, and older brother of NBA YoungBoy.
I started NBA, you know, like, I think now they gonna really understand how I'm coming, like.
This year hit different. YoungBoy and OG3 rose straight out of the Baton Rouge trenches, two brothers who flipped hunger into a full-blown empire. They weren't chasing clout, they were building something real, stacking every brick with purpose and pain. From the block to the boardroom, they mastered the art of survival and turned it into business moves that nobody saw coming. YoungBoy is chilling out in Utah now, but don't let that fool you. His roots still run deep. And 3, he's moving in silence like a boss, mapping plays while the rest of the game's still trying to catch up. The streets molded them, but rap polished them up. Together they became a force, unstoppable, untouchable, undeniable. And let's be clear, 3 was never just YoungBoy's brother. Nah, he was the one behind the curtain, the mind that kept the empire alive, the co-founder, the strategist, the man who made sure the Never Broke Again brand never ran out of gas.
How did you become a part of NBA?
I mean, I started NBA, you know, like, it was then like YoungBoy just was really like the main one who was rapping. Like, I don't really take rapping serious, cause like YoungBoy really made me rap. Like, I ain't never want to rap, I just did it cause he was like, man, you know, you might as well, I'm doing it. But, you know, he started off and, you know, he like took it to the next level. Like, he ran with it, he did what he was supposed to do. And, you know, we just made ourselves into a brand.
He didn't crave fame, he controlled it. Every spotlight that hit YoungBoy was positioned there by him. That's power, and he knew exactly how to use it. Never Broke Again wasn't just a slogan, it was a vow written in grind, blood, and loyalty. It was their declaration of independence, their promise that no label, no exec, no vulture was ever gonna own them again. By the time the world caught on, the game had already changed forever. Independent was the new status symbol, and NBA was the blueprint everyone tried to copy. Then entered Birdman, the iced-out king of New Orleans, the mogul who'd been stacking millions since the UNLV and Lil Slim days. His name carried weight, no question. He built legends, cashed checks taller than hotel rooftops, and moved through the industry like a storm. But Birdman's story, it's always been a dance between brilliance and betrayal. He's the kind of man who'll hand you opportunity with one hand and hide the fine print with the other. Folks been saying for years, Birdman will bless you, but don't expect to see your blessing hit the bank. When he linked up with YoungBoy and 3, everybody knew it was either gonna be history or heartbreak. You sign with Birdman, you better come ready, with a calculator, a lawyer, and a bulletproof mindset. Cause in his world, the numbers move fast, and the lessons hit harder than an 808 drop. Call it what it was, Louisiana royalty. The new king meeting the old general. When that photo hit the internet, the camera caught smiles. The caption said family, and every blog screamed history.
I've been working with Doug 10 years now. Doug 30. NBA YoungBoy 20 years old. And there's more money in the game now than it was when Doug had started. Even though Doug did a lot, but there's more money in the game now for a young nigga like that.
But while the world celebrated, that boy 3 stood in the back quiet, reading the room. He'd seen this movie before. The handshake looked friendly, but the energy, it was off. Real off. Birdman ain't the type to mentor for free. Every hug from him come with a hidden contract. He'll call you nephew, then slide you paperwork that ties your freedom up tighter than your chain. So when that 2021 collab dropped, Birdman talking his slick talk, YoungBoy spitting straight fire, and 3 protecting the brand from behind the curtain, it looked like peace, but it smelled like business. To the outside world, it was unity. But 3 knew, Birdman don't do unity, he does control. This man been running the same playbook since the early 2000s, telling every young rapper they the next Lil Wayne. Like that crown come without a curse. That sales pitch used to sound golden, but by the time he said it to YoungBoy, it was pure recycled game. See, Birdman's moves are legendary, but predictable. He plays the long game. Flatter the artist, claim the movement, then collect the credit. Divide and conquer, all wrapped up in diamonds and Cartier lenses. That's his style. And 3, he wasn't buying it. He watched Birdman try to slip between him and YoungBoy, stirring the pot, making loyalty look like a competition. But 3 didn't flinch. He knew how this industry chessboard worked. Birdman's lasted this long because he's a master manipulator. He makes people compete just to sit at his table. But NBA wasn't hungry for a plate. They owned the whole kitchen. By 2022, Never Broke Again wasn't just a label. It was an empire. Bigger, stronger, fully independent. No middlemen, no handouts, no mercy. And that's when Birdman started turning up the family talk, trying to wrap control in affection. He kept saying it's all love, as if repeating it enough would make it real. But the truth was showing. Every family post, every Instagram caption, every fake smile at a photo op, it all started looking like PR damage control. Birdman could feel it. The more NBA grew, the more his grip slipped. That power dynamic he once had was fading fast, and behind those smiles, the tension was thick. What once looked like a partnership started feeling like a silent power struggle dressed in designer. Something was shifting, and everyone in the room felt it. 3 felt everything, every fake smile, every hidden agenda. He didn't need to talk loud, because real ones can feel when something's off. He'd seen this movie before, front row seats. The same script played out with Lil Wayne. The young prodigy, the so-called mentor, and the family love that slowly turned into business leverage. So when 2024 hit and YoungBoy dropped Tears of War, the whole game froze. That line, "Dude, that Stu never loved me, should have listened to Carter 1, wasn't just a lyric. That was a surgical strike, clean through Birdman's image. No confusion, no subliminals, just truth wrapped in melody. Everyone knew who that was aimed at. The internet lost its mind, the blogs lit up, and fans were replaying that bar like it was evidence in a case. Stunner, Birdman, Cardman, the names changed, but the story didn't. The same man, the same game, just a new generation of artists learning the hard way. The online world went into full detective mode, breaking down every lyric, every pause, every emotion in YoungBoy's delivery, and through it all, 3 stayed quiet, too quiet. His silence said everything. He didn't need to post names. His stillness was the loudest cosign of truth. Then came the posts, the subliminal bombs. 3 started dropping captions that hit harder than verses. They call you nephew till they start acting like your landlord. Another one said, some people call it mentorship. I call it management with a memo. No tags, no shade, just straight reality. Every line felt like a warning, a confession, and a message all in one. Birdman caught those shots, but true to form, he didn't clap back. He stayed silent, letting the chaos speak for him like he always does. That's his classic move. Go ghost, let the narrative fade. But this time, silence didn't save him. Fans already knew the story. They'd seen it before with Wayne, with the whole Cash Money roster. History was looping like a cursed record, and everyone knew who was pressing play. Birdman's quiet wasn't power. It was guilt wrapped in diamonds. And 3, he wasn't wilding or crashing out. He was strategic. Every word he posted was precision cut, meant to draw lines, not start wars. He wasn't chasing beef. He was setting boundaries. That's what made it hit harder. He wasn't mad. He was done. Because when truth cuts, it don't bleed. It exposes. And the more 3 spoke, the more people started listening.
Cause this music, business, other streets, ain't nothing going on without me. Hey, I don't give a who think they gonna go around me, snake anything, break anything. Hey, this shit I stand on. So anything y'all thinking, think 3 times, cause you're gonna be missing your head, nigga.
Fans, insiders, even execs began realizing this wasn't hate. It was history repeating itself in high definition. Birdman's been running the same hustle for decades. Build a bridge, charge a toll, call it mentorship. He'll hug you at breakfast, then slide a contract under your plate before lunch. And if he feels like you owe him, he'll ring your phone nonstop. But if he owes you, he'll call it an investment in the culture. That's Birdman's gift. He turns loyalty into leverage and family into a business model. And through it all, he sleeps just fine, counting millions while bridges burn. But 3 wasn't built to bow down. He wasn't about to let that slick talk or fake family vibe slide one more time. He stood firm, and this time the streets and the industry were standing right behind him. 3 kept the pressure on, dropping post after post like lyrical grenades. One read, "You can't own loyalty. You can't invest in real." Another said, "They call it game, I call it gaslighting." Every line cut deep. That boy wasn't ranting, he was teaching. Meanwhile, Birdman was probably scrolling through his phone, watching the chaos unfold, counting likes instead of the karma that was creeping his way. Then the internet did what it does best. It clowned. Memes started flying faster than Birdman's money. One had him photoshopped holding a stack of Monopoly bills. Another showed him smiling next to fake checks. The captions were ruthless. Save broke man. Family discount records. Social media was having a field day. Even the big hip-hop pages jumped in, turning it into a circus. But 3 didn't feed the fire. He just let it burn slow. That's the part that hurt most for Birdman. He couldn't control the narrative this time. The jokes weren't just jokes. They were truth with a punchline. Humor had become the people's weapon, and every laugh was a reminder that the mask had finally cracked. By early 2025, the tension wasn't a secret anymore. It was open season. The family talk was dead, replaced by pure transparency. 3 was moving like a man who knew his worth. Calm, focused, and unbothered. He wasn't dissing, he was documenting. Every word he spoke came from principle, not pettiness. He talked about ownership, independence, self-respect, all the things the new generation stands on. And that's exactly what Birdman wasn't used to. He came from an era where artists were scared to speak, where silence was survival. Back in the Cash Money days, nobody dared check the boss. But this ain't that era no more. These new artists own their platforms, their masters, and their voices. They don't need a gatekeeper. They are the gate. Birdman tried to play it cool, showing up to events all smiles, throwing around that same tired phrase, all love. But love without payment sounds like an empty envelope, and everyone's starting to realize it. Meanwhile, 3 stayed in his lane. No rants, no theatrics, just moves. His words were enough, echoing louder than any interview or caption. He kept building the Never Broke Again brand, tightening it, reinforcing the message, and reminding everyone exactly who laid the foundation. That's the real difference between old money and earned money. Birdman inherited his empire through control, but 3 and YoungBoy built theirs from dust. That's why you can't divide what's already owned, and you can't conquer a man who studied every trick from the same teachers you once used. By the time 3 went live, he wasn't venting, he was closing a chapter. Calm voice, clear eyes, no gimmicks. You could tell he was done being quiet, done letting history repeat, and done letting fake family tie him down. His message was simple, but powerful. This time, the student learned the game better than the teacher. 3 was talking that talk. His words hit like truth bombs. Don't play OG if your guidance comes with hidden agendas. That wasn't anger. That was wisdom disguised as warning. The fans went wild, clipping every second, reposting, quoting, and flooding blogs with his message. The views shot up like fireworks, and suddenly, 3 wasn't just speaking for himself, he was speaking for every artist who ever felt played. Meanwhile, Birdman stayed ghost. No statements, no posts, no interviews. But that silence, it was louder than any denial. You could almost feel the discomfort ripple through the industry. 3 wasn't being disrespectful, he was holding people accountable, and the game was finally ready to listen. Even rappers who used to keep quiet started liking 3's posts, dropping subtle reactions they'd never dared touch before. The tide was shifting right in front of everyone's eyes. The OGs were getting called out, and this time nobody was backing down. That's not chaos, that's evolution in motion. The culture itself was growing up. Birdman tried to keep his poker face, but you could see the cracks forming. Behind that diamond smile was worry, real worry. He'd been playing the industry chessboard for decades, but now the pawns had learned how to move like queens and kings. The game had changed, and his old playbook wasn't working anymore. See, control don't work on people who already own themselves. 3 and YB didn't need a cosign. They built their own empire from scratch, and underneath all the noise, the message was clear. This was never about who's richer, it's about who's realer. This wasn't about power, it was about principles. You can't guide the next generation with backdoor contracts and fake loyalty. You can't preach family while hiding loopholes that rob your own people. That's the truth 3 was laying out, raw, simple, and unstoppable. And what makes this whole thing even deeper? It never turned violent. This wasn't a street war, it was a psychological one. Generational warfare, pure and simple. Old school control versus new school clarity. Birdman still thinking in contracts while the new era thinking in copyrights and ownership. One side trying to own the artists, the other side teaching artists how to own themselves. And the crowd, they're watching like it's a movie. Every post, every silence, every bar Feels like another scene in hip-hop's next chapter. The culture is watching the old guard get schooled by the very rules they wrote decades ago. Now the torch has officially passed, whether Birdman likes it or not. The new era don't need gatekeepers, and especially not YB. YoungBoy already proved independence is the new power, and 3's making sure nobody forgets it. The beauty of it all, it ain't about destroying the OGs, it's about demanding respect from them. 3 isn't trying to erase the past. He's trying to rewrite the way the future learns from it. The message is simple. This ain't rebellion, it's revolution. Birdman might have paved the road, but 3 laced up the steel-toe boots and walked it himself. That's real boss energy right there. This ain't no fairy tale. This is the real business of respect. What used to be whispered behind closed doors got dragged into the light, and for once, the game had to face itself. Birdman's still rich, still shining, still talking slick. But what hits different now is that the new generation, 3, YB, and their whole movement, they're learning how to build empires without owing nobody nothing. No middlemen, no handouts, no fake mentors. They flip the script completely, power in their own hands, freedom in their own names. But things got real when 3 made it clear this wasn't just about music, it was about principles. The tension was real. Birdman tried to play his move like always, but this time, 3 wasn't folding. Rumors started flying that words were exchanged behind the scenes. Heavy words, that somebody gonna die behind this kind of energy. That's when everyone realized this wasn't no PR stunt. This was real emotion, real history clashing in front of the whole culture. So when people say this story ain't about beef, they lying. It is, but it's not just street beef. It's a war of generations. Old school control versus new school freedom. Birdman tried to run game, but 3 stood on business. He didn't blink, didn't bend, didn't break. He was ready to defend what he and YoungBoy built with sweat, strategy, and sacrifice. The rules got rewritten right there. Simple but solid. If you call it family, pay it like it's business. If you call it business, treat it like it's family. That's the balance. That's how you win in this industry without selling your soul or losing your sanity. And that's what separates this new era from the old one. Them young dudes ain't falling for the snake moves no more. The loyalty ain't blind now, it's earned. Contracts get read, paperwork gets checked, and family don't mean free labor. 3 made it crystal clear. Ain't nobody sliding into their camp with hidden agendas, slick deals, or backdoor loyalty. You come correct, or you don't come at all. This is the shift, the changing of the guard. Birdman may have built the foundation, but 3 and YB turned it into a fortress. The game evolved, the power flipped, and the message is loud and clear. You can't control what's already self-made. And just like that, the silence broke. The torch had been passed, not through approval, but through impact. Birdman walked so 3 and YoungBoy could run their own empires. No chains, no contracts, no fake family deals. What started as mentorship turned into a masterclass in independence, and now the whole culture watching knows who really changed the game. 3 stood tall on principle, not ego. He wasn't chasing fame, he was defending legacy. And that's why people respect him, because he didn't just talk about ownership, he lived it. Every post, every move, every word hit like a wake-up call for artists everywhere. Stop letting love come with loopholes. Meanwhile, Birdman's still out here shining, still doing interviews, still trying to remind the world of what he built. But no matter how much jewelry he wears, there's no covering up the fact that the new era ain't scared no more. These artists are business-minded, self-taught, and fearless. The control game is officially dead, and the future belongs to the ones who play it straight. The truth is, this was never just about Birdman and 3. It was about the shift happening across hip-hop. The youth are rewriting the blueprint that the old guard swore could never change. They own their masters, their platforms, their stories. The industry's old walls are crumbling, and the ones who used to pull strings are starting to realize the puppets cut the cords. So yeah, maybe it started as tension, but it ended as transformation. 3 didn't destroy what came before him, he evolved it. He showed that loyalty don't mean silence, that respect goes both ways, and that independence is the new crown in this kingdom of beats and billion-dollar deals. And as for Birdman, he'll forever be the architect of an era, but 3 just built the next one. Stronger, smarter, and untouchable. Because the truth is, real power ain't in money, it's in freedom. And 3 just proved you can have both if you're brave enough to play your own game. This ain't just hip-hop gossip. This is a cultural moment, a generational message dressed in diamonds and determination. So while the legends watch and the new kings rise, one thing's for sure: the game will never be the same again. Stay locked in with BarzBuzz, where we break the codes, decode the moves, and bring you the real stories behind the beats. Because this ain't just about the music, it's about the empire behind it. Bang! If this saga had you shook, wait till you see what's next. You already know what it is. BarzBuzz got the real, raw, and unfiltered breakdowns. So don't forget to like and subscribe, drop a comment, and share this with someone who needs to catch up.